Oh, please do.
Is it ready?
Meeting's being live streamed. That's like it's on, yeah. Martha, can you hear us?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, I plugged my thing in. We can't hear it now. Yeah, this is what I'm gonna do.
Mr. Hannigan, that's going to be
Oh.
speaking now,
Yes,
right?
okay.
Okay.
Let's go ahead.
All right, good evening. Welcome to the ambulance committee meeting. Today is Tuesday, October 24th, 2023. My name is Martina Baccarella, and we have a guest here, hearing officer Timothy Hannigan.
Good afternoon. Before the hearing begins, does the applicant wish to make any amendments to the application? No. All right, very good. Hearing none, I'll let the record reflect that no amendment to the application is being requested, and I will now call this proceeding to order. The time is 5:27 p.m. This proceeding is a public hearing in the matter of the application of the Bedford-Stuyvesant Volunteer Ambulance Corps to expand their operating territory. As stated in the application, the applicant seeks to expand its certificate of need to include Kings County Community Boards 5, 8, and 16. My name is Tim Hannigan. I'm an attorney from Del Mar, New York. I'm going to serve as hearing officer for this hearing in accordance with New York State Department of Health Policy Statement 0606. As hearing officer, I will moderate this proceeding and ensure that the hearing process follows generally accepted procedures. Following the conclusion of the hearing, I will prepare a report setting forth findings of fact for the New York City Regional EMS Council and its ambulance committee. This is a public hearing, and I would be remiss if I didn't point out the exits. Follow me out, and I'll lead us to safety. I'll be out the door if something goes wrong here. We have plenty of EMS personnel and fire as well, so we'll have the situation well in hand. This hearing is being held by the Regional EMS Council of New York City pursuant to Article 30 of the New York State Public Health Law and is being
Council,
conducted in accordance with New York State
Council.
Department of Health Policy Statement 0606.
Oh, wait. I'm so sorry. I can't,
What's
you
up?
have to go slower. I can't get it. You're going fast for me.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm from upstate. All right.
Yeah, you gotta go slower. I don't know.
All right, that's good. You got it.
Look,
Yeah,
you're from New York City.
I know. That's okay.
So now that's what I got.
The purpose of this hearing is to provide a technical review and objective evaluation of the applicant's statement of need, as well as any other testimony presented. It is the intent of this hearing process to obtain input from the general public and from all who use, provide, paid for, or participate in the EMS system. A stenographic record and a video record of this proceeding is being made. The testimony taken and all exhibits received, and I will go through a list in a few moments here, will constitute the record in this matter. We have multiple members of the New York City Regional EMS Council and its ambulance committee here in attendance. Due to the way that we're doing this and some potential microphone issues with our stenographer, I will have the attendance record constructively read in for purposes of indicating your attendance here, assuming that's fine with the council members present. All right, very good. I usually like to give you an opportunity to introduce yourselves to the applicant. Please do so after the hearing or when you ask questions, but in an effort to keep the proceeding moving, we'll
I just
Put
want
this, go
to
ahead.
add, this is, public hearing is being live streamed and recorded, so there will be a video record.
Thank you, Marie. All testimony and presentations should be directed to the council members. Any questions that the applicant or any speaker may have for the regional council can be directed to me. Committee members or REMSCO members may raise questions to you during your presentation or afterward. The council members can confer collectively and pose questions to you throughout your application process. And the same is true for any member of the public that wishes to offer comments this evening. To support the pending application, the applicant bears the burden of proof for the demonstration of public need. Public need is defined as the demonstrated absence, reduced availability, or an inadequate level of care in ambulance or emergency medical service available to a geographical area which is not readily correctable through the reallocation or improvement of existing resources. With respect to exhibits, in this case, the application was deemed complete on September 28th, 2023. As a matter of housekeeping, the redacted application, to remove personal identifying information of key persons with the applicant, has been marked and is incorporated into this proceeding as Exhibit 1. a copy of the legal notice of public hearing published prior to today's date, together with the supporting affidavit and notice of the application made by registered or certified mail by the New York City Regional EMS Council, has been received and is marked as Exhibit 2. Confirmation from the Department of Health attesting to the applicant's fitness and competency to operate the proposed service, and that no further review is needed in that regard, was received on October 11th, 2023, and is incorporated into this proceeding as Exhibit 3. The timeline entitled Account of Events prepared by Michelle Clem is incorporated into this proceeding as Exhibit 4. The PowerPoint presentation that we will see in a few moments, which was sent by the applicant, thank you for doing that, sent by the applicant to the Regional Council before this evening's public hearing, is received and is incorporated into this proceeding as Exhibit 5. Multiple letters in support were received from both elected officials and community stakeholders following submission of the application. All of those letters, including one from Park Slope received on today's date, are received and incorporated into this proceeding as Exhibit 6. We will commence with the proceeding by Tamsin Wolf, Antoine Robinson, and James Pointer, representatives, for the applicant. Thereafter, the floor will be open to those individuals who have requested to speak. At this time, we have one. If anybody else in the gallery wishes to offer comments during the public hearing portion, I will provide you with that opportunity. I just ask when it is your time to speak, please come up to the front here where the microphone is, state, and then spell your name for our stenographer. Each member of the public will be allotted approximately 3 minutes to offer their comments. I may, in the exercise of my discretion, award more time, or if there are no members of the public other than the one that wishes to speak, I may allow her an extended period of time to speak if she so chooses. At the conclusion of this public forum, the applicant will be afforded the opportunity, if it desires, to rebut any comments offered in opposition to the application. Such time is for the limited purpose of contradicting or disproving statements, and again, any that may be made in opposition to your application. And that's your ability to offer rebuttal is something that's specifically called for in Policy Statement 0606, and it's because that you have the burden of proof as far as demonstrating need with respect to this hearing. Is there anybody in the audience who did not pre-register to speak but would like to do so at this time? All right, seeing none. If anybody needs reasonable accommodations to facilitate speaking, please let me or Michelle or Marie, basically anybody know. Raise your hand, we'll make it work. Are there any questions before we begin? All right, seeing none, we will proceed with the applicant, Bedford-Stuyvesant Volunteer Ambulance Corps. Please go right ahead.
Thank you.
So when either of you begin speaking, just say, state your name, spell it, and then go ahead. Okay.
Okay, so I need
Try
to
and
know.
be almost uncomfortably loud like I was.
Yes, sir. All right, good evening. This is James Pointer speaking, by the way. Good evening. We extend our sincere gratitude to all of you for joining us at this evening's public hearing, focused on the proposed expansion of the operating territory for the
Hold on,
Bedford-Stuyvesant
hold on,
Volunteer
sir, you have to go slower for me.
Please go slower. Please go slow, okay.
Very slow, yes. Okay, start over.
Good evening. We extend our sincere gratitude to all of you for joining us at this evening's public hearing, focused on the proposed expansion of the operating territory of the Bedford-Stuyvesant Volunteer Ambulance Corps. We'd like to express our heartfelt appreciation to the Ambulance Committee, the Regional Council, and Hearing Officer Tim Hannigan for organizing this event. Tonight, we aim to provide robust rationale and compelling evidence that underscores the public necessity behind our proposed expansion to expand the operating territory.
Just go, wait, I need you just to go slower so I need you to go slower. So tonight I'm here to provide robust.
Need to go slower. We got to the part
Slower.
where we were saying the robustness.
All right, I'm gonna start. Tonight, we aim to provide robust rationale and compelling evidence that underscores the public necessity behind our proposal to expand our operating territory. Through this presentation, we will illuminate key aspects of our application, emphasizing the importance of our expansion. Our hope is that by the end of this discussion, the EMS Council will be well informed and prepared to make a decision rooted in the evident public need.
I'm sorry, rooted in the evidence of what?
The Bedford-Stuyvesant Volunteer Ambulance Corps, known as BizVac, is advocating for an extension of its primary operating territory to include the neighborhoods of Crown Heights, Brownsville, and East New York. Over the
I'm
past
sorry,
few
but
years,
I can't, I'm
BizVac
sorry,
closely
I can't,
monitors
for some
response-
reason, I can't hear, you have to go slower because I can't hear you.
Green share is not following.
Crown Heights,
Okay,
you gotta go slower. I know you're reading something, so you have to.
Yeah,
go slower.
yeah, so, you have this in written format. Because what we can do is tell her, we can email.
yes, I have a written form. I have a written.
All right, so
I can.
let us, Martha, can you hear us?
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Pointer has this in written form. This is off the record. This is just me to Martha here.
Yeah. Yes.
Mr. Pointer has this in written format as well. So what he is willing to do is submit that. I will accept that as an exhibit, his written testimony.
We're emailing it right now.
Perfect. And he can email that to you to fill in any gaps in what you are experiencing on your end due to the technical situation.
thank you. And yeah, please. And then, but just also, since you're reading, please just slow down. So this way I can make sure I get it. Thank you.
Yep.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Primary operating
That's- yeah,
territory,
that's fine, yeah.
the neighborhood of Crown Heights.
Okay. All right, so BizVac is advocating for an extension of its primary operating territory to include the neighborhoods of Crown Heights, Brownsville, and East New York. Over the past few years, BizVac has closely monitored response times in these areas, and we have found that it's consistently showed an extensive wait time for emergency medical services. After careful analysis and considering our financial situation, BizVac believes we are well prepared to provide our services to these neighborhoods. Charlie, can you take a look at it for me? It's not going to the next slide.
You just give me a quick check.
There we go.
Okay, just go slower, please, for me.
Founded in 1988 by Captain James Rocky Robinson and Specialist Joe Perez, BizVac emerged with invaluable support from Tamden Wolf, a pro bono lawyer.
I'm sorry,
The
you have to,
initiative
oh,
was
I know,
born
I
out
know
of pressing need.
you have to go slower. You really do, because I don't know any of these names and they're just coming at me. It has to be slower.
Yeah, I'm emailing.
Yeah, we're emailing.
Yeah, emailing the speech over.
Just read it slowly.
Founded in 1988 by Captain James Rocky Robinson and Specialist Joe Perez, BizVac emerged with invaluable support from Tamden Wolf, a pro bono attorney. This initiative was born out of pressing need to address the extended wait times experienced by residents of Bed-Stuy during medical emergencies. During that era, it was not unusual for ambulances to take 30 minutes to respond, causing significant delays in critical care. Upon attaining its New York State DOA certification, BizVac dramatically reduced these wait times, consistently maintaining a commendable 4-minute response times for both critical and non-critical emergencies. Furthermore, BizVac expanded its community role by offering first aid, CPR, and EMT training, as well as mentorship programs for local youth. BizVac dedication transformed it into an indispensable resource for Bed-Stuy residents. Now, with a proven track record in Bed-Stuy, BizVac is eager to extend these invaluable services to the neighborhood areas of Brownsville, Crown Heights, and East New York, and address the need for additional ambulance service. The neighborhood of Brownsville, East New York, and Crown Heights, home to over 365,000 residents, exposed a notable deficiency in immediate
Slow
EMS
down,
services.
sorry, slow down, hold on.
Recent data paints-
Hold on. You have to go slower. I know you're reading, but you got to read slower. The neighborhood of Brownsville. It has to be slower. This way I won't interrupt.
Does
It's
she
going,
understand that she's getting this by email?
Yeah, I do, but I still have to get it down.
But she still has to get it down regardless.
No problem, I'll start over. Very well done. Okay. BizVac is eager to extend these invaluable services to the neighboring areas of Brownsville, Crown Heights, and East New York, and address the need for additional ambulance services. The neighborhoods of Brownsville, East New York, and Crown Heights, home to over 365,000 residents, expose a notable deficiency in immediate EMS services. Recent data paints a concerning picture. During urgent emergencies, residents may experience average delays up to 12 minutes. These crucial minutes often shape the course of health outcomes, and such delays are deeply distressing. For less critical situations, the wait times can stretch to an average of approximately 16 minutes. This raises important questions. Why should these neighborhoods endure extended wait times during their most critical moments? And what can we do to help alleviate the extended wait times?
Well, hold
The
on, you
answer to
have to
those
go, wait,
questions-
hold on, you have to go slower. I don't know how many times I have to say this. This raises an important question. It has to be slower.
Okay. This raises important questions. Why should these neighborhoods endure extended wait times during their most critical moments? And what can we do to help alleviate these extended wait times? The answers to those questions are within this expansion application and this public hearing tonight. BizVac understands the problem which these neighborhoods are facing because it's the same problem that BizVac was founded in 1988 to address in Bed-Stuy. The expansion of BizVac operating territory can help begin to reduce response times in these neighborhoods by using our community-based ambulance service dedicated to meet the need and put the help where the hurt is. Amid the peak challenges of COVID-19
Sorry,
pandemic.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. I'm
proactively-
sorry, hold on, where the hurt is, I didn't hear the last part. Just slow it down and then this way. I don't have-
Amid the peak challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic, BizVac proactively collaborated with the New York City Regional Mutual Aid Activation. To
I'm sorry,
strengthen the New York
you're-
City's
you're-
emergency preparedness.
I can't hear you well. You're just too, it's too low. God, I just can't. Act like you're screaming, but loud, low, slow.
Off the record for a second. So it's too low for the stenographer to what's,
It's too low and too fast. So I need both. I know
Is
he's
it
reading
possible we just
something,
move
but
the
I
mic over there? It's too
really
low.
need it slow.
yeah.
Is anything out there? Yeah, I think.
Just put both of them there.
Yeah.
It's really- Take that one.
That's so it's just a slideshow and then the top will display.
No, it's because it's on Zoom, that's why.
Because
It's in slideshow mode.
All right, so are we going to continue?
Keep going to, so that we can hear her.
Okay, yeah.
We apologize for technical difficulties.
We stand by.
It's off the record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Hollywood Square.
Another one for you if you need it.
No, I know.
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
All right,
all right, so it's
No
very
problem.
slow. It has to be slow, otherwise I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it. It has to
okay,
be-
I'll try to go as slow as possible.
Thank you.
Amid the peak challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic, BizVac proactively collaborated with the New York City Regional Mutual Aid Activation to strengthen the city's emergency preparedness. Even in doing so, our unwavering commitment to the Bedford-Stuyvesant neighborhood remained resolute. We remain focused on our primary area by operating a community-based ambulance dedicated to providing EMS to the Bedford-Stuyvesant, while also operating an additional ambulance available to other neighborhoods in the 911 system. Remarkably, during the COVID-19 pandemic, nearly a fifth of our emergency responses were dedicated to these very areas we are now eager to support more comprehensively. The current landscape of EMS is undergoing a discernible transformation. Due to high turnover rates, many organizations have turned to earn and learn programs to address staffing shortages, while others have adjusted their personnel to align with the minimum ambulance crew standards of a certified EMT and motor vehicle operator set by the New York State Department of Health Bureau EMS to meet their service needs. The most frequent usage of the FDNY EMS fallback response, in response to escalating emergency calls.
Wait, the most, you gotta go slower, the most.
The most frequent usage of the FDNY EMS fallback response, a response to escalated emergency calls amid staffing shortages, underscores this challenge. It highlights the urgent need for additional ambulance support in these neighborhoods to assist with prolonged wait times, a responsibility BizVac is prepared to shoulder. By expanding BizVac operating territory, each of the neighborhoods will benefit from an ambulance service whose primary concern is a specific neighborhood. While the contribution of the FDNY and its affiliated hospital resources are not disregarded or omitted, the sheer call volume often surpasses their staffing capabilities.
You gotta slow. Wait, you gotta slow down. Are not discarded or omitted. Slow down.
All right. While the contributions of the FDNY and its affiliated hospital resources are not disregarded or omitted, the sheer call volume often surpasses their staffing capabilities, leading to delayed responses. BizVac expansion to these areas can ensure that their neighborhood receives timely emergency care they rightfully deserve with no cost or burden to existing resources or the community. The screen shows a map highlighted BizVac's current service area in blue, while Crown Heights, Brownsville, and East New York are ascended in orange. These regions correspond to community boards 5, 8, and 16, and fall under the watch of the 73rd, the 75th, and the 77th precinct.
Hold on.
Collectively,
Slow down and fall under the watch.
falls under the watch of the 73rd, the 75th, and the 77th precinct. Collectively, this expands an additional 8.4 square miles. So a question may arise: can BizVac effectively cover this expansive territory? Our confident response is absolutely. BizVac is fully equipped to serve all these areas holistically. We currently have a fleet comprising of 2 Type 3 ambulances and 1 Type 1 ambulance at our disposal. Moreover, Assemblywoman Stephanie Zinnerman has generously granted.
Hold on.
Moreover, Assemblywoman Stephanie Zinnerman has generously granted $125,000 towards the procurement of a new ambulance. Recognizing the growth on the horizon, BizVac has already earmarked funds for another ambulance specifically designed for the needs of the new neighborhoods. But our strength isn't limited to our vehicles. Our dedicated squad of over 40 EMTs, drivers, and dispatchers stand ready to operate in the ambulances and deliver essential care to those in distress. In alignment with our growth vision, BizVac is introducing a new operational strategy. This plan is crafted to optimally place our ambulances within both our existing and proposed territory.
Hold on, this plan.
Say that again. I'm sorry. When do you want me to start from?
This plan is crafted.
This plan is crafted to optimally place our ambulances within both our existing and proposed territories, ensuring timely and effective responses to emergencies. We aim to serve all neighborhoods we touch. Further, our interaction with community representatives suggests a potential setup of a satellite facility in these regions, making operations like shift change, equipment restocking, and vehicle upkeep more efficient. Such initiatives highlight an unwavering dedication to the neighborhoods which we are proposed to expand our services. During our application phase, BSVAC actively met with community stakeholders.
Wait, slow down. So, during our application phase,
BizVac actively met with community stakeholders who are instrumental in shaping the well-being of the neighborhoods. This engagement spanned elected officials, community boards.
You gotta slow down. Neighborhoods.
This engagement spanned elected officials, community boards, business leaders, and medical institutions. Their endorsement and the warmth with in which they embraced our initiative are deeply heartened. We profoundly grateful for their trust and engage and eagerly anticipate collaborating closely with them in the days ahead. Furthermore, our association with other volunteer ambulance services, united by our shared mission of ensuring swift ambulance services, fills us with pride. The consistent support of BizVac and dedication to their own communities is commendable. We extend our heartfelt thanks. Lastly, a big thank you to everyone presented at this evening's public fact-finding hearing on behalf of the Bedford-Stuyvesant Volunteer Ambulance Corps. Your participation is greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Okay, can we stop for one moment? Since we have a live stream and it's being recorded, I've been advised by our public hearing officer that we will do a transcription based on the video that we collect tonight.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. I'm so sorry. Can you say that louder? I can't hear you.
Yeah, gotta move some.
But I can't hear. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. So, thank you.
Yeah.
Martha, so what we're proposing to do is send a copy of the recording following the completion of this hearing to you for transcription. So that way it could be, you could slow it down, pause, do whatever has to be done, in addition to having the benefit of the written comments that were just presented. I've done that with other regional councils in the past for this type of hearing, where the stenographer gets a recording and thereafter does the transcription. If there are follow-up questions, obviously we can answer them. But is that, I think that's the path Marie would like to go on, and it's done elsewhere. So I'm comfortable with that process.
Wait, I mean, it's still, it has to be done very slowly because I still have to write this down.
We are going
To send you the video and you can do your transcription based on the video that we are recording, and then send us the transcript afterwards. That's been done before. And this way you can control the speed of the playback, okay?
Okay.
Okay, good. So thank you very much, and we'll be contacting you.
Okay, so how much more reading do we have of this stuff?
Martha, we're going to stop the transcription at this point, and we will send you a video.
When
And
you
then
say the transcription, I don't have to take it down, you're saying?
No, don't take it down now. We are going to, you don't have to stay. We're going to email to your company a copy of this video, and then you can play it back and do your transcription that way. This way we can go forward. This is taking up too much time with all these technical difficulties.
Yeah, it's, it's hard when the reporter is not there, and it's
Yeah.
here.
So I think this will make it easier. So
Perfect. Okay, so then I'm gonna leave then, and then you're gonna have to, and then you're gonna send me this. Or
Yes.
or class. Okay,
we'll
perfect.
send it to Lexitas. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, we are.
Thank you.
You charge admission. All right, so
Again, the speakers, that's how loud it is coming in everyone's computer.
okay. All right, so Charlie, we're still live. You're still recording. Very good. All right. Thank you, Mr. Pointer, for that presentation. Ms. Wolf, Mr. Robinson, would you care to make any additional comments on behalf of the applicant during the presentation period that you have now?
No, not at this time.
No, he did a great job.
He did a fantastic
very
job.
I must say you stayed incredibly patient.
I had a couple of questions. You touched on the highlights of them, but I wanted to kind of call it out through the narrative. First, the data that you referred to was all derived from publicly available.
Publicly
data,
available
right?
information online, yes.
With respect to, I read through, and who knows how it'll come out of the transcript, but the definition of public meeting, which is cumbersome to read even when you're not remote doing the stenographic transcription. So with respect to reallocation of existing resources in the narrative, you talked about if that was gonna happen, it would have, and the staffing isn't there for existing agencies to reallocate. Can you talk about that and kind of focus in on that?
So basically, this has been an issue over the past couple of years. It's public record, so you can see that the response times are extended. So the allocation of resources, if it would have happened, it should have happened already. Because the extended times over 12 minutes and 16 minutes for calls is, something that I think that should be addressed.
And then the other statistic that was contained in the narrative that I wanted to highlight was there were approximately, your agency has determined there were about 27,000 requests for calls in the area sought for expansion.
That was just a year. That was just for the
1
year,
year, yeah.
just for 1 year. Collectively from all 3 neighborhoods, it was about 27,000
Okay.
jobs.
Do any members of the council have any questions for the applicant? Yeah, sure, go right ahead.
Just one,
State your name and then go ahead and ask.
It's William Goffin, Goffin. Just quick on the map, when you were talking about it, the exposed area is the bigger area? Or
The bigger area, correct.
I wasn't sure. I just want clarification. You're saying.
No problem.
That's it.
Thanks. Go ahead, sir.
Jim Downey, Volunteer Ambulance Association. Question for Mr. Pointer. Is Bed-Stuy currently participating in the 911 calls?
Yes, we just recently put an ambulance out in the 911 system as of last week. We've been going through PMs with our vehicles, so we haven't been operating just to make sure that the vehicles are upkept properly.
Thank you.
Go ahead, sir.
So this is Dave Bekatansky, also with the Volunteer Ambulance Rescue Association.
Can you spell your name?
MEKETANSKY. Speaking, having worked with a lot of volunteer agencies throughout the city, the need is not only, minutes of response time, but how we train new providers, getting people in. I've known a lot of Bed-Stuy members who have, worked with Bed-Stuy and become better providers. So if you want to talk about how you can help the need of, good providers today, good providers in the coming years, and how Bed-Stuy supports that and how this expansion will help that need for good providers.
So when we have new EMTs or those who are not EMTs, if you're not an EMT, we always encourage you to go to school and become an EMT due to the fact that we have been providing 911 ambulances to the city and also providing community-based ambulance services for the organization. We train them on both aspects. So we train them as if you were working for a place like Northwell or NYU or Mount Sinai. We train you how to log in to the system, how to call RCC, how to make sure that your 81 times stay under 25 minutes. If you need to go out of service, who to notify, and if there's any incidents in the field, how to contact the condition boss and et cetera. And also on our end, because we operate just slightly different, teach them our way, how we dispatch, how the calls come in. If someone calls on the phone and requests an ambulance, how to go through the process of triaging and things like that. So we try to prepare them as much as possible for when they leave here and they go into the real world, that they're able to provide their best care and also work operationally to the best of their capabilities. And yes, also we do QA, QI. So at times we do pull ACRs and we try to make sure that our paperwork is up to par and our EMTs know what to write and what not to write and don't get restricted.
Thank you. Are there any further questions from the council? Sure, go right ahead.
Good evening, Grace Catrola, FBNY EMS Operations. You quoted several stats and fallback. Is there any place we can look that information up, because you're stating a 12 to 16 minute response time?
Well, the 12.
Is that 7 to 8, 6 to 8?
Oh, so the 12-minute response time for segment 1 through 3, and the 16-minute response time says for segment 4 is to 7, or 4 to 8. As defined on the website as critical and non-critical responses.
Is there any place we can look up these stats, because they don't line up with what's actually being?
Well, the stats that we got came from the New York City Open Analytics website.
And you also mentioned fallback. Fallback has nothing to do with ambulances being dispatched to specific areas. It's actually the first ambulance due, regardless of BLS or BLS. It's the closest ambulance that gets dispatched. So I'm just a little concerned that we're using terminology and stats that aren't actually compliant with what's going on.
But it also takes away from the fact is if you have a response for a job, let's say a diff breather, which normally would have an ALS and a BLS response, you would only send a BLS ambulance, which means that, or an ALS ambulance. I know if that's the case, then I'm wrong because I work in the system on a consistent basis. And if we're requesting for additional resources, we're always told we're on fallback, just transport.
Instead, it's dispatch. Can you just tell me where you got these stats from?
The New York City open analytics website. I don't can the data cityofnewyork.us. That's the actual website.
In further response to the question, I think there's a footnote on page 4 of the narrative. It's footnote 10, where there's a link that it sounds like what
Yes.
Mr. Pointer just referred to.
That's
Are there any further questions for the applicant? Sure, go right ahead.
Daniel Meisels, MEISELS, New York City Health and Hospitals, excuse me. I'm a little concerned about the geography. That's an enormous amount of land that you're proposing to cover. Now, certainly, if you look ahead, assuming that this application is approved and you get the third ambulance and then the fourth ambulance, and it looks like in 5 years, where you want to be and where you want to get to is it's reasonable to support that geography. But with only 2 ambulances in service right now, and with one potentially kind of being held in reserve for 911 participation, could you speak a little bit more about how you think you'd be able to serve such an extensive or expansive geography with only the limited resources you have today?
Okay, so I'm just gonna have my commanding officer would like to answer.
All right, Commanding Officer Antoine Robinson, Bedford-Stuyvesant volunteer. So we sat there and we looked at the area. We looked and said that East New York is huge. It is very big. Brownsville, Crown Heights is our neighbor. I'll assure you that Crown Heights wouldn't be a federal issue at all. With the support that we have been receiving in recent years and the amount of volunteers that call to come and ride on our ambulance and help out, I believe that the amount of ambulances that we are able to provide, what we have currently is the 2 ambulances. We have one on the way and another one we have to purchase. Unfortunately, with the ambulance being in backlog, the fastest, most efficient way that I believe that this organization can supplement the 911 system in those communities is just simply purchase used ambulances. And I mean, you could purchase a used ambulance fairly quickly. And with us being financially stable at this time, we're willing to do so and allocate the necessary funds to make sure that we're able to cover these areas that we are applying for.
Are there any further questions for the applicant? Any further questions for the applicant? All right, seeing none, thank you. We'll now open the hearing up to members of the public who wish to speak. The first member of the public who is, and actually the only member of the public who is signed up to speak at this point is Tara Mack. And you can come, actually right over here, we'll find a microphone here.
I'll slide back so
Okay.
you can slide over.
And just state and spell your name for the record. Thank you.
Absolutely. My name is Tiara Mack, and that is spelled Tiera, Mack, MACK. And I'm the Executive Director of the Pitkin Avenue Business Improvement District in Brownsville. Those boundaries are Pitkin Avenue between Mother Gaston and Howard, and on Rockaway between Belmont and Glenmore. But I pretty much work with all of the businesses between East New York and Sutter on all of those corridors. That is a pretty extensive area, and it is the area that Mr. Pointer and his staff at the volunteer ambulance service will be covering. And what I can say from being in the Business Improvement District, and I'm also a resident of Brownsville, Ocean Hill border. Being a resident and being executive director of the Pickens Avenue BID, what I know is that we have plenty of emergencies between car accidents to shootings to stabbings to mental health crisis. And we would need additional services in our community. I have witnessed on the corridor long response times. I have also witnessed we have violence disruptors in our community. So we have a community that is already accustomed to supplemental services that are provided from people that are doing volunteer or non-traditional forms of public service work, right? So I know that the community, would be interested in something like this and fully support it. And I also know that it is deeply needed because of the extensive issues that we have in Brownsville. Though, our crime is down, we also have a high population of elderly folks and an elderly building at the corner of Mother Gaston and Pitkin. And that has frequent, if an elderly person fall, they call the ambulance, right? So we have frequent need for ambulance service due to aging population, the current conditions in Brownsville, and just it being a busy neighborhood with a busy business corridor, quite a few busy business corridors.
Thank you very much. Do any members of the council have any questions for Ms. Mack? Seeing none, thank you. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, sir.
Jim Downey again. I'm looking at the map here. It appears Ocean Hill and Brownsville are partly in the current service area.
Yes, so that's why if you look at our application, it states in there that we cover approximately 20% of Brownsville, East New York already in our current area, along with an additional service area that we don't cover the entire Community Board 3. So the additional 2 blocks to Atlantic Avenue would give us the opportunity to cover the whole Community Board 3.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Are there any members of the public who have not signed up that would like to speak? Come right up, sir.
That's not valid.
Step up there, state and spell your name, and then proceed with your comments.
My name is Warren, Warren, and I'm also just moved from the East New York area. And I would like to say this, 6 months ago, my aunt had a stroke, a severe stroke, and it happened around 3 a.m. I called 911 and the response time took them 23 minutes just to get a truck to me. On top of that, fire was there and they had a little bit of material that can help her. And I felt very heartbreaking at the fact that I had to wait 23 minutes for one truck to come, which was a BLS unit, and wasn't able to support the needs that she needed. 3 months after her having that severe stroke, she turned around and had another stroke. Again, the call time and response for Fitney to get there was 17 minutes. I feel like with BizVac expanding, it would be great to service the needs for the people in the public. And I also feel like the response time will be a little bit more shorter.
Thank you. Do any members of the council have any questions for Mr. Warren? Any questions for Mr. Warren? Can you just clarify the dates of the calls you said with respect to your aunt? You were like approximate months.
So my aunt caught a stroke. Her first stroke she caught was in, I want to say April.
Okay.
The first one was in April.
April of 2023.
Yes, 2023.
Okay. That's all I had. Thank you.
No problem.
Is there any other member of the public that wishes to speak? Any other member of the public that wishes to speak? All right, there being no one else who seeks to comment further on this application from the public forum is now closed. No one at the public hearing spoke in opposition to the application. Nevertheless, if you want to make some closing remarks now in a few minutes, I'll offer you that opportunity.
Just quick question. The letters that were sent over for those who couldn't make it into the meeting, will those be added into the public hearing? I know we had one person that spoke, but I know several people stated that they couldn't make it.
And I'll note that too. So in addition to Ms. Mack who spoke here, the regional council received numerous letters of support from elected officials, community stakeholders, all unanimously in favor of the application from federal to state and local. Those have been incorporated into this proceeding. I'm just gonna pull up the exhibit number for you. Exhibit 6. So I included all of those, including, there was one today received from Park Slope ambulance that we included.
Yes.
Yes,
Did you also get the 7 written statements that were separately emailed?
yes.
Those were in addition to the letters of support.
Yes.
These are more recent. Okay.
Yes, yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, Michelle sent those, everything that was sent to the regional council, that was sent there after your application was submitted is exhibit 6. And those are all letters of support that are, again, community stakeholders, elected officials, and the letter today from Park Slope ambulance. All right, so do you wish to make any closing remarks?
No other closing.
All right.
Well, I definitely will.
Okay.
All right. First and foremost, I'd like to thank you all for reviewing our application and allowing us to come forth at this hearing. My chief of staff, James Pointer, has been doing a phenomenal job keeping the volunteer ambulance corps afloat. Tamsin Wolf with her assistance. I think everyone in this room, if they have been paying attention to the action of Bedford-Stuyvesant, you guys have seen the improvement that we have accumulated in most recent years. And Warren that came and spoke about, Mr. Thomas that came and spoke about his grandmother is the same reason we seeking to expand. It might look different with statistics, but at the end of the day, myself and my volunteers have a passion for this. And if we can save one life or help one person with this expansion, that is the entire purpose of it. And that's our duty. That's the calling that we are here for. 90% of the volunteers that I have on the truck work a 9 to 5 with various hospitals, FDNY, other private ambulance corps. And these guys will leave their job when they can work overtime. And you guys know we do not get paid a lot of money as EMTs and volunteers. And they will, as EMTs and paramedics, they will leave their job and come and run on the truck and volunteer their services for the people in need. We can do the carry downs. We know EMTs and paramedics out there get sick of getting called for all the BS jobs where you just have to teach someone how to take their medication. Well, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, that's what the Bedford-Stuyvesant Volunteer Ambulance Corps is here for. And if we need to bring that to Crown Heights, Brownsville, and East New York, which we all know is underserved, that's our purpose and that's what we're here for. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Do any members of the council have any questions for Mr. Robinson? All right, seeing none, the time is now 6:13 p.m. The record is closed. There will be a transcript made of this proceeding at some point. I can't wait to read it. Based on the transcript and submit it to the ambulance committee, and Michelle and Marie. The committee will meet and then make a recommendation to the entire regional council as to whether the application for expansion should be approved. There being no further business before the committee, I adjourn this hearing. The next council meeting is scheduled for November 28th, 2023 at 6 p.m. Marie has indicated that that's the date by which the council anticipates voting on the application. I'm going to prepare my hearing officer report, provide it to Marie and Michelle in advance of that time. And so you can expect that will be the date and time which your application will be voted on. The council's website is NYCREMSCO.org. Stay tuned to that or contact Michelle and Marie to figure out if there's some change with that. But I anticipate a decision on this being made November 28th.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
all.